Hi, I'm Mark Moses. I'm welcoming you to the CAC Network's High School Football Game of the Week. You might recognize me as an actor. I've been in a few television shows, well, more than a few: Desperate Housewives, Mad Men, The Last Ship, Homeland. I've done some films like Platoon, Big Mama's House 2, Gettysburg, Bombshell. But I used to be a football player. I used to play for Evanston Township High School. This is a picture of me when I had more hair, when I was younger, when I was cuter. And I also played with the amazing Don Johnson, who is bringing you tonight's game on the CAC Network. Don asked me to talk briefly about what it was like being a football player or an athlete back in the day, and how it applied to me as an actor. Well, I have to say I learned many, many great lessons, mostly from a coach named Murney Lazier, who was our high school football coach. He taught me about teamwork. He taught me about hard work, discipline, getting what you want, being a good person overall, and pursuing what you want in life. And those things apply not only to acting, but to every career that happens. And so the football experience was great for me. And I think this is going to be a wonderful fall season for CAC Network. And Don Johnson, you're going to do a great job. So all I got to say is go Wildcats and take it over, Don. Cheers.
Hey, I'm Don Johnson from My Generation Sports. Are you ready for some of the finest football in the state of Illinois? I thought that you were. Join us on the CAC Network.
Good evening and welcome into Stevenson High School in Lincolnshire, Illinois for tonight's CAC Game of the Week as the Stevenson Patriots welcome the Mundelein Mustangs. Hi everybody, alongside Don Johnson, I'm Connor Klingen, and this Mundelein team is 4-0 for the first time since 2004. Just how much does that mean to this program?
Well, it means a lot. One of their assistants, Dave Whitson, was the head coach in 2004, and he is one of the assistants now. They had a terrific ground game, and what I remember, they gave Libertyville, who won the state championship that year in 2004, they gave them all they can handle in a 16-9 game in the first playoff game. So there's a history with this team. Dave Whitson is an assistant, and of course, he's going to be talking to his colleagues in the coaching booth about ways to beat Stevenson.
And a big part of the success for Mundelein has been running the football, and they lean quite a bit on their big left tackle, Brandon Hansen, who's heading to the University of Illinois. But Mundelein's hoping he's back in the lineup after missing last week.
Well, they're listing him in the lineup, but last week he was a little bit dinged up, and Cole had to come in and replace him at tackle. Now, Cole normally is a guard, a little undersized at 205 pounds, but he had to come in and replace him. He did a great job. They were able to move the ball on the ground and open up some big holes. So that's what they hope to do today in a really important conference game.
Well, Mundelein likes to run the football. So does Stevenson as well, and they've got a good duo of running backs with Frank Costabile and Christopher Thorndike.
Yeah, Frank Constable and Christopher Thorndike, they're both quick backs. If you give them a crack in the seam, they'll hit it. And what I like about them is they run bigger than they are. They're not really big guys, but they finish the runs, and you'll see that here tonight.
Well, one issue, if you stack the box against Stevenson, watch out for Armand Burris.
Well, Armand Burris gives the team balance. He was one of their wideouts for Stevenson, and he can get deep. He runs good intermediate routes, and so he gives that offense some balance.
Well, this one should be a lot of fun. 2-2 Stevenson, 4-0 Mundelein looking to clinch a playoff berth. Kickoff is coming up.
Down on the field with Coach Vince DeFrancesco.
Got it.
You got to feel good about being 4-0 in week 5. But what do you tell your players about the focus? Because the destiny is in your hand going into the meat of the conference schedule.
Yeah, this is exactly where we expected to be right now. We expected to be 4-0. We've taken care of business. I keep telling our kids just to focus on the process. Don't worry about down the road. Don't worry about week 10. That's our team goal, obviously, is week 10. But we got to focus on doing things right every single day, the little things and the process to be successful. We can't shortchange the day because we're so focused on the long-term goal.
What allows you to move this program forward, Vince? I've watched you over a couple of years. Each year you guys have moved forward. What makes this year a little bit better and sweeter for you?
Well, you know what? It starts with our, I have a great support cast of coaches, and our players, our culture is great. Like, for me, when I got into this, I said I was going to build relationships with kids, and that's, we're going to build our program. We went from 86 kids to 156 now. We're growing. Football's exciting in Mundelein again. Kids want to be a part of it. Our coaches are outstanding. I feel the kids say they have a great experience playing within the program. And at Mundelein, there's always been talent there. It's getting the talent to play football. We're traditionally a big baseball school. We're starting to get some of those kids to come over and also play football. So I think that's the recipe for success and just discipline.
I know I paid a visit to you about a year ago. I came in there and you showed me your weight room and how you were expanding what it was doing. Why is that an important piece of the program, having a weight room that speaks to the kids?
Yeah, I mean, we have a great weight room facility. We have 26 racks. We get 100 kids in there within every single hour. Our kids spend a lot of time in there. Why? Because we know what it takes to win in this conference. It's one of the best conferences in the state of Illinois. We know what it takes. It takes what it takes. We can't shortchange that. So that's a part of the process.
What I find interesting is that there are two Mundelein teams that are 4-0, and then there's a team, Lake Zurich, that's 4-0. Coach, how does that feel, and what do you see for this next week or two for your team in the Mustangs?
I just want our kids to have fun, play hard, control their process, control their actions, not worry about everything. People keep saying, when's the last time Mundelein did. It doesn't actually matter. I don't know when the last time this was, but I know that right now, here we're playing Stevenson at Stevenson. They're a good football team. They've always been a good football team. They got 5 million kids. Their band's bigger than our school, but we got a shot tonight.
You know what? I was there. I happened to be around when that last time was there, 2004. And I know one of your assistants, Dave Whitson,
Yes.
was the head coach.
Yes.
And he took them to 5-5. But the thing I remember, because I was working for Libertyville,
Yes.
they won the state championship, and
Mundelein
they
played
played
hard.
them two of the toughest games all year,
Yeah.
16-9 in their first round. And they used running as a recipe.
Absolutely. Coach Whitson's still with us. We talk about that occasionally. At the end of the day, what I keep trying to emphasize to our kids, guys, it's not about the past. We respect the past. We honor the past. We love tradition. We love history. But I want to make our own history with this group here today.
Well, thanks for coming over and speaking with us, Coach DeFrancisco. Good luck in the football game.
Thank you, Don. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Down on the field with Coach Brent Becker from Stevenson Patriots. Big game tonight because it's a conference game, and you're facing a Mundelein team that has a little momentum. They're 4-0. You guys are 2-2, but it's really a test for them. Everybody knows the standard that you set in football here at Stevenson. So tell me what you're telling your players to keep them focused on what the task at hand.
Yeah, I absolutely. Every week in the North Suburban Conference is a battle. This week is no different. So we're trying to play our best football every single week and go 1-0.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that there are two Carmel teams that are 4-0 in this region, and Mundelein is one of those. But there's a lot at stake here tonight, and we know that they've been doing it on the ground. So, Coach, what is your strategy to take them out of what they do and make them single purpose?
Yeah, I think at any level of football, it doesn't matter what level, you've got to stop the run. They've got a great running attack. They want to get off the bus running, so to speak, and so that's been a focus for us this week. We've got to make sure we stop their run game.
And what do you have to do offensively to attack them? I know you've got two fine running backs yourself, and Constable has done a great job, Thorndike as well. Yep. You got a little balance at the wideout position. So each week there's some maturity. What did you see on tape to give you confidence about this game plan tonight?
Yeah, I think balance is the word that you use that's really important to us. We're always trying to stretch the offense or stretch the defense vertically and horizontally, keep them balanced in the run game and pass game, and so that's going to be important for us tonight.
Okay, and then one final thing. How important is this game at this point in the conference? Because we've got Lake Zurich on top here, Mundelein with 4-0, and then yourself, Libertyville, Lake Zurich, all in that mix. Yeah. So what's the weight of this game in your eyes, Coach?
Yeah, I think every week's important, right? Yes. We know that, and especially for us, we're just trying to get our team prepared to be the best we can be this week, and we need to get back in the win column. We're excited for the opportunity.
Okay, thanks for coming over and talking with us, Coach Becker. Good luck in the game today.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
Please rise if able for our national anthem.
And welcome back to Stevenson High School, just about ready for kickoff alongside the former Northwestern Wildcat Don Johnson. Connor Klingon here with you. And Don, this Stevenson team, they got a fantastic crowd as they always do, but looking to bounce back after the loss to Warren last week.
Yeah, difficult loss against a powerful Warren team who was 0-2 when they ran into Stevenson, and they were really hungry for a victory. Coach McNulty, who typically has some of the better defenses in the state, and his offense woke up. They put up 41 points and really gave Stevenson a lesson.
Yeah, Stevenson's looking for the offense to bounce back a little bit. 16 points in back-to-back weeks. It doesn't get much easier, though, taking on this 4-0 Mundelein team and a huge win last week, 37-22 over Waukegan.
Well, some would argue that, you know, Waukegan hasn't been one of the stronger teams, but they've been playing good football. And certainly Mundelein has deserved their 4-0 record, beating teams like Grace Lake. We saw last week, Grace Lake North. So we know that they've got their work cut out for them in the second half of the schedule, the meat of the schedule, if you will. Facing teams like Stevenson, Lake Zurich, Libertyville, it's going to be a test to see who Mundelein really is.
This is definitely going to be a game where Mundelein can prove they're among the class of the NSC, but Stevenson's going to start with the football. They're wearing their home grays, Mundelein in the road whites. Great crowds on both sides. Mundelein brought a big contingent.
Beautiful atmosphere for Friday night high school football for the game of the week. Packed stadium here, Stevenson High School, Adelaide Stevenson High School. You hear the Monday night music, you know, I'm getting fired up.
Nothing gets you more excited than that. Christian Garcia on to kick off for Mundelein, and we are underway in the CAC Game of the Week. It's a short kick, fair catch, and Stevenson will start at the 30-yard line.
So 1st and 10 at the 30. Pretty good field position for Stevenson to start their first offensive series. We talked about their two running backs. I want to keep an eye on what they're able to do on the line of scrimmage.
Frank Costable and Christopher Thorndike, they have been a dynamic duo in the backfield. And Costable in particular, 528 rushing yards in 4 games.
Well, in the first game that we did versus Kenosha, he had 137 yards in the first half.
They send a man in motion. Aiden Crowley, the quarterback, pitches out, and there's a lot of room down the sideline past the 50. What a run by Alex Drabchick to start off for Stevenson.
Well, they go with basically a jet sweep kind of motion with Drabchick going over the left side, using his speed to get on the perimeter of the defense. So Mundelein's got to be aware of not getting too tight to the line of scrimmage and not giving them lanes on the edge of the field.
A gain of 23 yards has Stevenson in Mundelein territory. 1st and 10 from the 47. They send a man in motion to the other side, and they pitch it over there. That is Costable, and he is out to the 35-yard line of the Mustang.
This is what I like about Frank Constable. He runs bigger than what he is. He's not a big kid, but he finishes runs, and he gets up in the hole, and he's got that speed to go the distance.
So 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. 2 runs, 2 first downs for the Patriots.
And you know that the Patriots are going to be running in behind Ethan Agakon, the all-state lineman, and he's going to be cutting some lanes in there.
Crawley takes the snap, gives to Costable, trying to get to that edge, but he is brought down in the backfield.
Mundelein did a good job of stringing out that play, making it go to the boundary, using the boundary as a friend.
Looked like the safety, Maddox Hermistroff, who came up to make that play.
Yeah, he read that pretty quickly, got across where they wanted to go, kind of met the runner before he got to where he wanted to go.
So it'll be 2nd and 14 for the Patriots. First time we've seen them behind the chains tonight. As Crawley takes the snap, fakes, throws right, high. He was looking for Armand Burris, and it's now 3rd and long.
It looked to me like the Mundelein defender, Ian Murray, got a hand on it. If he didn't get a hand on it, he certainly made him change the trajectory of his throw.
So 3rd and very long now for the Patriots, and you have to think, Don, they'll probably be looking to Burris here.
Yeah, this is an ideal down to go to Burris. He's their leading receiver this year, and he's the guy that has that chemistry with Crowley. Jet sweep.
They'll hand it off to Burris, and he's got a little bit of a hole down to the 30, past the original line of scrimmage, but it'll still be a 4th down.
Well, this is a 4th down territory. They'll probably go for it. But you see Burris's athleticism. They run what is called a jet sweep. They motion him across the formation. He's got his speed up. They hand him the ball, and you can see he can motor.
4th down and 5. Big moment for the sophomore quarterback, Aiden Crawley, as he runs in with the call from the sideline.
That might have been Burris's first attempt as a rusher this season.
Yeah, we've really seen him be the big play receiver. We'll see the Patriots go to on 4th and 5. And whistles, timeout called by Stevenson.
Yeah, Brent Beckler wants to talk to his coaches. It's a big decision here early on, but I think it's a good confidence builder for your team to go for it on 4th. And, you know, I know some of the coaches over there on that sideline, you know, and I'm sure they're all encouraging him to go for it.
Well, Don, when you talked to Coach Becker before the game, he said they wanted to stretch the field horizontally and vertically, and we've really seen him stretch it horizontally.
Yeah, we've seen him go to jet sweep twice, once left, once right with Burris, using his speed to get to the edge of the field. But we all know that there's a sequence that he's setting up. You know, as soon as they start chasing to the edge of the field, the counter comes the other way.
Might be the type of call you want to go to on 4th and 5, but Coach Becker realizing the magnitude even early in this ball game, just about 2.5 minutes in. It's a 4th down and 5 from the 30-yard line of Mundelein.
Big down for Mundelein. If they can hold here, they send a message to Stevenson.
Constable in the backfield and a false start. It looked like Stevenson jumped first.
Yeah, it looked like your right tackle jumped outside. And that's just nerves. But you have to know when the critical situations are in the game, and you sit in there. Just sit in there. So the decision was made for them.
Yeah, it looks like now we'll see the punt team come out.
Legal procedure coming, which stalls off what otherwise started out to be a great drive. He came out running the football impressively.
Wyatt Sudan back down inside the 10-yard line to receive. Frank Constable is the punter, and he gets it away. Takes a bounce around the 10. That is a good punt for Constable. It'll be down inside the 5-yard line by Stevenson.
Well, Constable does his job as a punter, changing the field position, and we know this is a game of field position. Putting Mundelein back up against the wall, against their own end zone, that's not where you want to start your drive from, because ball handling, ball security is number one when you're down here. You can't get really tricky and cute. You've got to cover the ball in the first 2 plays off the line of scrimmage, try to give yourself some room to operate.
The Mustangs will start at their own 6. First time we'll see the quarterback, Danny McNelly. But this is a team, as we mentioned in the open, they like to run the football quite a bit. Only 37 passes attempted in 4 games by McNelly. Brody Pollock is the lone back behind McNelly.
He's the guy that's probably going to get the bulk of the carries, Brody Pollock.
As McNelly's just looking to get the signal in, and we might have to see Vince DeFrancisco call a timeout here, and it looks like that's what he did.
Do you think it was noise that was causing, or they just were late in getting in the play? Well, we'll have to start watching the play clock. I know there's one on that end zone. There's one down there, 25-second play clock.
Well, it's not too often you see noise be a factor in a high school game, but first drive in an environment like this, when you talked to Coach DeFrancisco before the game, he said, boy, Stevenson has more kids in the band than at Mundelein High School.
Yeah, that was a great quote. Memorable, to say the least, and certainly appropriate when you look out here tonight.
It's a big environment, and that has to be intimidating for McNelly. He is a senior, obviously experienced, but boy, this is a college-type atmosphere to walk into, and you get the ball in the shadow of your own goal line. That's pretty intimidating.
Well, the first thing I'm seeing as Coach DeFrancesco was, okay, cover the ball. Ball security, most important thing down here near this side of the field, ball security.
They send Bogensky in motion. Another man comes across the formation. They give to Pollock, and he's able to pick up a couple. And Don, that has to be exactly what you're looking for when you're in the shadow of your own goal line.
Yeah, they get right in behind Brendan Rasek, the center, and they just power right up the middle on the midline. So that's going to give them a little operating room, you know, for the quarterback, a little room for error.
So it'll be 2nd and 7. Those 3 yards, you know, normally a 3-yard gain isn't anything great, but when you're backed up, that is a big difference.
Those 3 yards are huge.
No question. So it's Pollock again in the backfield. You see the big left tackle, Brandon Hansen, who's heading for the University of Illinois. Bogensky in motion once again. As McNelly looking to pass, it's tipped, and it is caught after the deflection over on the far sideline.
So the football guys rolling with the Mustangs on that one, because they got their hands up in the passing lane, but they had some heads-up players.
And it works for a first down to Carson Cooper. We mentioned it earlier, Don, this is not a team that looks to pass too often, but on 2nd down and 6, they get a nice bounce of the football.
Ball's on the Mundelein, 17.
So 1st and 10 for Mundelein on their own 17.
Oh, that gives them some breathing room here. Now you can run a little play action. And you don't have to be as nervous when you're not right up on your end zone.
Got a fullback in the backfield. And they're going to give it to Jake Junia.
Yeah, they go straight ahead and again. And this is really out of the playbook. That's why I mentioned in the open, Dave Whitson was the head coach back in 2004 of Mundelein. And this looks like his same strategy. Run that football, grind it out. Ball control, get behind your big hogs and let them push at the line of scrimmage.
Don, you talk about big hogs. This offensive line averages over 260 pounds. That's helped a lot by Hansen, but you look at Rasiak, the center, at 270, Stasiak at 240, Braylon Grant at 270 at right tackle. This is a big-time high school line. Send a man in
jet
motion.
sweep.
Another jet sweep, but slipping down in the backfield. Not much doing there for Braden Carmen.
Well, when the play started out, he did have some interference in front of him. It looked like he might be able to stretch it to the outside, but then lost his footing over there. I don't know if the footing was good. We saw a little miss early on.
Yeah, you do wonder about that sometimes. A little bit of a humid night, a warm night for late September. Mid to high 70s. And a 3rd and long for the Mustangs.
Yeah, it's about 3rd and 8, right?
3rd down and 8. Just over 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. McNelly looking to the right, and that is deflected, incomplete.
That could have been intercepted. He got a hand on it. The corner was actually in better position. It looks like number 10 was out over there. That was Thomas Simmons.
And Griffin Surin in the area as well there for Stevenson. So a good stand. And Don, you look at the field position game, that is a big stop. You hold them to 1 first down, and Stevenson's going to get the ball probably in plus territory.
Here, if you're the punt returner, you want to make sure you catch the ball on the fly. You don't want it to bounce the opposite way. The field position is so significant. If you can't return it, then you want to catch it on the fly.
Zachary Hirsch back to return. Lets it take a bounce at the 45. Bobbles it for a second and goes down to his knees at about the 43-yard line. So a bit of a break for the Mustangs.
Yeah, because they should be across the 50 or at least near the 50 to start this series.
Just about halfway through the first quarter, we'll see the Patriots with the football once again after they had the drive stall out around the 40-yard line at Mundelein the first time they had the ball.
They had 2 big gains on their first runs, running the jet sweep left and then right.
Empty backfield. They'll go with a screen to Costable. working the near sideline. He's got some room near the sticks, and he picks up the first down on the screen pass.
Yeah, nicely run screen pass. They get a block on the edge to spring Constable. He makes good yardage out of it. You have to be impressed with the way they set it up. They were able to get on the edge and make that thing happen. I think Kenning was over there, number 9, making the block on the edge of the field there. He was getting some good blocks. He read them, and then he got upfield. I like his explosiveness.
That's the most important thing on the screen. They go with the jet sweep once again for Drabczyk. Drabczyk laying some contact near the end of that run and is out near the 35-yard line.
You can see that Drabczyk has some wheels. When he gets in motion on the jet sweep, he's already running, so he's got a little head start on the linebacker. That's why you like that jet sweep. But they're setting something up because what you're going to see is they're going to fake the pitch one time and then come right back with the counter right down the midline. You can see him setting it up.
That could be lethal for the Patriots. 2nd down and 2. They give right up the middle, and there's a lot of room for Thorndike. A flag comes out as he goes down
all the way.
Sideline.
Touchdown.
Into the end zone, but it looks like it's coming back, Don.
Yeah, the flag is down right at about the 35-yard line. So a thing of beauty, though. Thorndike broke some tackles, got to the edge. You see that speed I'm talking about. 2 backs with quickness and speed to get to the edge. Hard to keep that harnessed all that.
We've already seen plenty of speed from Frank Constable, Christopher Thorndike, and the great news for Brent Becker, both of them will be back next year.
They're underclassmen, right?
Constable just a sophomore, Thorndike a junior. Let's take a look at what the call was. Now Stevenson, it looks like this is going to be a touchdown.
How long a run was that, I'd say? It was a beautiful cutback run by Thorndike going across field. When he got to the outside, you could see his acceleration. The referees are huddled there at around the 15-yard line, right? Let's see what the white cap comes out saying.
Well, they're coming back.
And that's an odd place where the flag was, but apparently whatever he saw, I'm guessing holding, yes. There's the indicator. So it's coming all the way back, but definitely a beautiful run of what we saw. And if you can do it once,
you can do it again.
That's right.
So Stevenson will be marched back. The holding call wiping away the long touchdown run.
We talked about Frank Constable and Chris Thorndike. Constable coming into this game, 528 yards rushing. And Thorndike, second leading rusher at 178 yards, averaging just over 10.5 yards per carry.
That's not bad.
No, that's not bad.
You'll take a first down every time you touch the football.
Yeah, that would have sent his average up if they'd have counted that one.
So 2nd and very long now. Looks to be 2nd down and 20 for the Patriots. At their own 40-yard line. But so far, the Patriots have had a number of chunk plays against this Mundelein defense. They send Constable in motion. He's looking to pass. Downfield, he had Burris, but couldn't get it to him.
Yeah, he had a little difficulty handling the ball. He may have rushed it because he really didn't even have to make a great throw. Just get it out there. But, that's a play they can come back to.
Don, you were a running back. Did you ever throw a halfback pass?
Not a whole lot of them. But they did. We practiced it a lot, at least on the college level at Northwestern. Nick Morosis, who was my offensive coordinator, he liked practicing it with us. We had another running back, Dave Michler, had a little stronger arm than me, so Dave usually got that duty.
3rd down and 20. Crawley throws over the middle. It's caught. Not much doing there for the tight end, Zachary Becker. And this will bring up a punting situation for the Patriots.
So they go right down the middle of the field, And just like we saw on the previous drive, penalties stalling off what otherwise would have been a very successful drive. We had a holding penalty, and before that, we had an illegal procedure in the last series. So penalties kind of the bugaboo for Stevenson right now.
Frank Costable to punt. Vinny Rogalski back to return for Mundelein. Costable able to get it away. Rogalski calls a fair catch, and the Mustangs will start at their own 20.
Well, this crowd is here, but we know that there's a reunion going on here for old Stevenson Patriot athletes that came back, and I believe this school started in 1965 and named after Adlai E. Stevenson II, right? He was known as the man from Libertyville during that time. He was in the Senate, but he got beat twice running for president, and his name is what the school bears right now.
And it's quite an impressive campus. If you haven't been here, plenty of room here for Pollock along the near sideline past the 40. He picks up 25 yards on first down.
I'm surprised that left edge was as open as it was. A big gainer for Mundelein and giving them, their first big gainer of the night with Pollock.
Well, it's probably not too fun to play defense on the left side of the field against Mundelein.
No.
With big Brandon Hansen leading the way at left tackle. And then you have Dylan Coe, who last week got the experience of playing tackle. He slid back into left guard, but that is a great left side of the line for the Mustangs.
It is indeed. They're going trips right this time, which is a typical passing formation to overload.
McNelly
He's going to run
keep
backside.
It himself. Plenty of room. First down and more for the quarterback, Danny McNelly, but a couple of flags down to the backfield.
Well, you have to like the sequence of the play calling. Let's go overload right. So there are less men on the left side of the field, and that's what they've been successful running to the weak side twice.
But now Mundelein gets burned with the holding call. And Coach DeFrancisco arguing his case, or at least asking for an explanation there.
But I like their thinking, using their quarterback to make his read. He's got good wheels. You can see he's got enough speed to get to the edge. And that's going to keep Stevenson defense honest when they get in that trips formation.
McNelly has been an impressive runner this year, 6 rushing touchdowns, so definitely a threat in the red zone as well. It's now trips to the right of the formation on first and long for the Mustangs. McNelly rolling out right, looking downfield, loads up, throws, and it's caught over the middle.
It's a beautiful throw by McNelly.
Ethan Connolly making the catch.
Well, I was really impressed with the arm strength of McNelly on that one. He rolled to his right. He had his tight end running up the hash mark, and he drilled that one in there. There was a defender very close.
And a flag on the play as well.
Personal foul to the attack on 15 from the spot of the ball.
So that is a big break for the Mustangs, and so far penalties have been a real bugaboo for the Patriots. Roughing the passer in this instance. So, Don, now we see Mundelein with the football in Stevenson territory for the first time tonight with about 3 minutes to go in the first quarter.
And what you're seeing, too, is a semblance of a good drive, starting to put plays together. If they can get past the penalties, they can string together 4 or 5 plays and take it down here and score. That'll change the whole momentum.
They send Cooper in motion, give up the middle, and here comes the laundry once again. A delay of game in this instance called.
Taking too long to get the play in or taking too long to call the play, whichever the case may be, but it's costly. You can't afford to do that in this type of game, or you're contesting for, conference footage here. You want to, every inch counts, right?
Absolutely, and we've seen both of these offenses be very potent this season, but so far, no points on the board, and we've seen some sloppiness from both sides in terms of the penalties.
Could be nerves. They know it's a lot at stake. First time from Mundelein, 4-0. Stevenson at 2-2 in the 5th week of the season, unusual.
1st and 15, McNelly to the near side, loads up, throws, and it's just off the fingertips of Wyatt Sudan.
Yeah, he made a nice throw to Wyatt Sudan. There was good coverage on the play there. Thomas Simmons was right there with him, but I like the velocity and the arm strength of the quarterback. His arm strength is pretty good.
Yeah, we mentioned on the first drive he'd only attempted 37 passes in 4 games, but they've come out and had McNelly throwing a little bit, rolling him out to the right, rolling to the left, and he's impressive throwing on the run.
He is. He's a threat, and clearly he's capable of throwing the football. Obviously, Coach Vince DeFrancesco knows that. Here they're going trips left here. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right.
Pollock in the backfield. McNelly looking to pass, throws. It's caught by Sudan. Not much doing, though, as he was just coming across the formation.
Well, that's the definition of gang tackling. 3 green jerseys on the receiver as soon as he catches it. But what you like are the Mustangs are stringing together a drive. They're moving the football. They're advancing it.
Well, Don, you talk about that Stevenson defense. They're probably trying to show some pride tonight after giving up 21 points in the loss to Lake Zurich and then 41 last week against Warren. Looking to show tonight that this is a stout defense for the Patriots.
Playing the 4-man front right now up front, Stevenson. They're creeping up, so they're going to put 7 in the box.
Oh, and they go into the neutral zone.
Yeah, you can't do that. You're just giving them a free yardage there and keeping the drive moving, and they haven't done a thing.
So Stevenson jumps, and that puts Mundelein at the 36-yard line. 3rd down and 7.
You hear the proverbial "you can't do that" call from the opposition.
The
right?
classic.
Yeah.
So a big 3rd down in this first quarter with under 1.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. McNelly takes the snap. Looking to the right side, throws, and it is broken up. The Mundelein fans were hoping for interference, but a good pass breakup by Armand Burris.
Well, on that ball kind of sailed on him a little bit, because if he keeps that ball to the inside and gets rid of it a little bit quicker, that's going to be a catch. But actually, the Stevenson player had a better sight line to the ball. Could have been an interception, really.
Do you think he got there early with the contact?
No, I think he played the ball before the receiver did.
Good breakup.
Yeah. He saw it before the receiver did, I think.
So Mundelein on to punt. 4th down and 8. Zach Hirsch is back for Stevenson. Watch out for a fake, and it looks like they were going to run a fake. Play is blown dead. Delay of game once again, Don.
Oh, man. And we talked about, penalties can hurt you. You got to settle down and just execute here.
And now you almost certainly can't run the fake here on 4th and 12.
No.
But that looked set up pretty well with Wyatt Sudan, the up back there. He's got good speed.
Yeah, they were looking to make some kind of break in the game, give themselves an advantage.
So this time it looks like they will punt. Rugby-style kick from Hermistroff, and it's a good one.
But it goes.
And it'll take a friendly bounce for the Mustangs. Down at the 1.
A thing of beauty for Hermistroff, because I thought it was going to roll in the end zone, and then like a Tiger Woods putt, like a Tiger Woods pitch, it kind of reverse field, didn't it?
He had some backspin on
That's
that
what
one,
I was
my
gonna say.
goodness. What a punt by Hermistroff, not just a safety, showing his skills as a punter. So now a dangerous situation for Stevenson.
Right.
Backed up.
Yeah, it goes back to ball security. And you just have to buck up here and run some dive plays and give yourself some room. You get in behind Ethan Aga Khan, you can bet on that.
Crawley under center. They will give, and it's Costabile able to pick up 3, maybe 4 yards on the play.
I love Constable because he runs bigger than he is. Oh, Oh, wow, they just threw a penalty, I think, on Mundelein sideline. Coach DeFrancesco a little bit upset. I don't know if you guys can get a shot of that, but he was livid. And he might have been talking to the ref in a way that.
Well, no, the personal foul is on Stevenson.
Wow.
So they'll go half the distance to the goal. Go back to about the 2-yard line now. The run from Costabile will still count, but they're down at the 2. Another personal foul. And it will be second down as it was a dead ball foul. Crawley will be under center once again.
Straight dive, off tackle.
And it works pretty well out to the 5-yard line there for Costabile.
You have to like the aggressiveness, the way Constable explodes into the hole. Not a big guy, but runs with a lot of authority.
Yeah, he's been impressive. 5'7", 160, but
yeah,
I mean, he doesn't look it out on the field.
He runs like 6'2", 6'3", right?
Time winding down in the first quarter. This could be the last play of the opening period. It's a handoff up the middle. And that will be good enough for a first down for the Patriots. And once again, who else? Frank Costabile.
Yeah, he ran into Alex Grosvenor. Alex Grosvenor came up, the linebacker, and they met. But you can see, again, a Constable, the way he finishes a run, he's always going forward.
He's been impressive in the first quarter, but a first quarter marked by penalties from both sides. We're scoreless at the end of one between Mundelein and Stevenson on the CAC Network Game of the Week.
Every goal, every touchdown, a promise, and that promise deserves safeguarding. Introducing draft protection and loss of value insurance. Dream without limits. We've got the coverage. Opalentia. Plan your legacy. Call us now at 708-505-9719.
Welcome back to Stevenson High School. The Patriots with the football to start the second quarter in this scoreless game. As Aiden Crawley will take the snap. And a scrum in the middle. The ball may have come out. Mundelein thinks they have it. And they do. Mundelein comes away with it. Ian Murray recovers the fumble in the scrum.
So a big turnover. Big turnover at 11:54 in the second quarter. And great field position, great scoring opportunity. Let's see what Mundelein's able to do with it.
So the best opportunity in the first half of this ball game, Mundelein gets the ball 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line of Stevenson.
So
Adam
Ian Murray.
Al-Khatib. Go ahead, Don.
Yeah, I was going to say Ian Murray comes up with a big fumble recovery.
Here's Al-Khatib, able to pick up a couple, but Don, that is the biggest moment of the game thus far with Ian Murray scooping up that fumble.
Well, we talked about how important this game is, especially for a surging team like Mundelein, 4-0. They're playing with great confidence. What they need to do to get over the hump to beat an upper echelon program like Stevenson is they've got to complete an opportunity like this. Good field position. You got to come away with no less than 3 here.
You don't get too many chances like this. Al-Khatib, the bigger back, 230 pounds behind McNelly. They give it to him on the right side, and he's stacked up right away. That's Anthony Adams. And if the name sounds familiar, yes, his dad is Spice Adams, the former Bears defensive lineman.
Well, in fact, when we came out here to do the interviews for the first game versus Kenosha, Spice Adams was out there. And that's when we realized, his son's out there playing football. But we have a lot of local Bear players or former Bears and current Bear players that live in the area.
and matriculated schools like Stevenson, Libertyville, Lake Zurich. We've got 2 Bear linebackers that are playing out of the conferences, the North Suburban Conferences, Jack Sanborn from Lake Zurich, and from the Lakes, TJ Edwards.
That's very cool to see the local connections with the Bears. Here's McNelly looking for the end zone. It is batted down. Big time play. Looked to be Luke Nelson who got his hand on the ball there in the face of McNelly.
Well, I like the way they're utilizing McNelly, rolling him out of the pocket, letting him use his legs, and then he's got good vision. You can tell that he sees the field. But that was pretty close to being intercepted. Very close.
4th down and 9. Christian Garcia is on to kick. He's been an outstanding place kicker this year. 4 for 5 on field goal attempts. Perfect on extra points as the kick is up, and it is straight through. Mundelein leads 3-0.
So I like the fact that even though they didn't score a touchdown, they were able to capitalize on a miscue and come away with points, and that's significant.
It seems like the type of game where points could come at a premium. So you'll take the 3. They take advantage of the mistake from Stevenson. But Don, before the break, we were talking about some of the other great games going on in the area, not just in the North Suburban Conference, but the Northern Lake County Conference and the East Suburban Catholic Conference.
We talk about schools that are 4-0 in the state of Illinois. Carmel of Mundelein is also 4-0, and ironically, they meet the best team in the state, or at least the top-ranked team in the state tonight, Mount Carmel, who is also 4-0. So Carmel Catholic out of Mundelein facing Mount Carmel tonight from the East Suburban Catholic Conference. So it'll be a great matchup for them and a real test for Jason McKee, former fullback of the Bears, head coach at Carmel, who's also doing a great job. His program, much like Mundelein, is on an upward trajectory.
It's a great time for football in Mundelein, no question about it. And the Mustangs with a 3-0 lead. Christian Garcia on to kick. And Garcia boots it high in the air. Fair catch called for. Right around the 30-yard line is where Stevenson will start, as Zachary Becker made the catch there.
It's a pop-up kick. Now, you know, in the high school rules, at least with onside kicks, you cannot intentionally bounce the ball off the turf. That's an automatic penalty, but that was a pop-up kick. They have rules about that as well to try to minimize the number of concussions and injuries. So referees are really touchy about those kind of kicks.
And a smart move by Becker to call for the fair catch. Couple of wide receivers and a tight end in the formation for Stevenson. Crawley looking
wide open.
He's got Burris just off the fingertips.
Yep. He's got to put a little bit more air underneath that to give him a chance to judge the flight of the ball. When you throw it that flat, the receiver doesn't get a chance to eyeball the ball, much like an outfielder, right? You have to judge the flight of the ball, but that's a play they can come back to. That's encouraging because he was 5 yards behind the defender.
They have to like that Burris got that separation. Could have been a 70-yard touchdown for the Patriots. Instead, it's 2nd and 10. Send a man in motion.
Jet sweep.
Quick pitch on a jet sweep for Drabczyk, but this one is stopped in the backfield. Good job by the defense for Mundelein, this time ready for the jet sweep.
I got to believe that they got a counter coming back the other way off of that, or something that comes down the midline once they get everybody chasing left. You know, I know that's coming at some point.
So it's a loss of 1 on the play. 3rd down, actually loss of 2. 3rd and 12 for the Patriots.
So after getting started pretty quickly, the Stevenson offense has stalled.
See what they go to on 3rd and long. Crawley back to pass.
Wide open.
And it is caught. Kendrick Kenning making the catch. And that looks like it is close to a 1st down. It's going to be 4th and short for the Patriots, 4th and 1.
Kendrick Kenning, the 6'1", 175-pound tight end there. He ran a crossing route there, and they delivered the boom on him after making that catch.
No question about it. And now a 4th and 1. Big moment. The Patriots going for it in their own territory, but only a yard to gain. Crawley will hand off up the middle, and that is good enough for a first down.
Well, they go to their bread and butter back. You know, when you need tough yardage, you're going to go to this young man. Constable, he finishes runs. That's what you got to like about that young man.
And he leans forward. That's the most important thing on 4th and 1. Huge first down for the Patriots, as they'll have 1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line as you get a look at the Stevenson sideline. 3-0 lead for Mundelein with about 8.5 minutes to go in this first half. Looks like a wildcat formation here. Or no, rather, that is Crawley given right to Costable. A little bit of a different setup, and Costable picks up 5 yards on first down.
They do a little read option on that. I think they're changing up a little bit, looking like they're going straight down the midline. And I believe that went to Thorndike. I went to 22. I believe Thorndike carried on that one.
You got 22 and Thorndike, 29 and Costable.
Hard to see from over here.
A little bit with the gray jerseys and the white numbers.
Yeah.
A little bit tricky, and they're both 5'7".
And they both got similar running styles, so that makes it even tougher.
It is Thorndike in the game now with Crawley. Crawley looking to pass.
There he is. He's got his man.
Burris makes the catch at the 25-yard line. Biggest play of the game for Stevenson. They have 1st and 10 at the 25.
Now that's going to be a tough cover all game for Finn O'Malley, the cornerback for the Mustangs. He's got to be able to, he's got to play a cushion on Burris. You can see Burris' speed. He can beat either one of their corners right now. You can see that. So they're going to have to change their approach to covering him.
Not an easy matchup. You see Burris at the bottom of your screen right now. And a timeout called by Mundelein.
And that ball was actually thrown short. He came, actually it worked out for him. He's able to work back to the ball. But if they can throw one out there where he doesn't have to break stride, you know, they can be effective with down the field.
It shows the awareness of Armand Burris. Only started playing football as a sophomore. Of course, his dad was an NFL quarterback and a tremendous quarterback in the Canadian Football League, 2-time MVP up north. But Armand was a hockey player growing up for the most part, played juniors in Canada, just started playing football a couple of years ago, and Don, I think he's got the hang of it.
Well, I would say that, and we share something in common. I was a hockey football player myself and got to play for Evanston Hockey Association and also played junior hockey at a high level with the Chicago Minor Hawks. And I played with a guy by the name of Steve Richmond who went on to the NHL and played like 12 years. He played on my line.
Wow.
Yep.
Defenseman? No,
I was
a
a
winger.
center and a wing.
All right.
And I played defense on the point for power play. There's Thorndike.
Thorndike making a couple of cuts.
He's gone. Oh.
And he nearly had the end zone, a shoestring tackle, saving a touchdown.
Man, I like Thorndike. He's got a little wiggle in the way
shifty.
he runs that ball. Both those guys can accelerate, both Constable and Thorndike. But the more I see Thorndike, I'm like, wait a minute here.
Who's better?
Exactly.
Tough to tell. 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. It is Thorndike in the game for the Patriots. Couple of wide receivers out in the formation. They give to Thorndike on the right side, makes a cutback, spins his way inside the 5, where he's swallowed up by the defensive line. And Hermistroff coming up for Mundelein in on the tackle as well.
Well, they say you can judge a team by the way they respond to adversity, right? Well, Brent Becker's Patriots starting to get in a groove here. They punch this one in. Now you're going to feel that Patriot rhythm.
2nd and goal from the 5. As Crawley fakes, throws over the middle, and just out of the outstretched reach of Armand Burris.
I like the way they set that up. Burris went really wide and then ran a real skinny post working back to the quarterback. Quarterback's got to be a little bit more patient, and Burris has got to eyeball his eyes and know where the ball is, so he's running towards his throw. away from the defender, and that play can work. They can come back to that.
So 3rd and goal for the Patriots from the 5-yard line. They've got Griffin Surin in there, working as a fullback, 3 backs behind Crawley. They give it over to the right side near the goal line, stopped just short. It was Drabczyk on the carry, and he stopped at the 2. And now a decision for Brent Becker on 4th down.
Well, judging from what he's done in the past, there's no decision here. He's going to go for it on 4th. This will be the 3rd time, I believe, that they've gone for it on 4th down. And they were able to convert it before, so they have a lot of confidence. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him get behind Ethan Agakai.
4th and goal from the 2.
We got Constable in the backfield. Single back.
Crawley fakes to Constable, throws
Easy
wide
money.
open, touchdown Armand Burris.
He's going to be a difficult cover all game. And now Brent Becker sees that, and now Mundelein's in trouble. Well, the last 2 series we've seen down there, he missed Burris, but if I'm them, I'm going to Burris all the time right now.
What a play call.
Yeah. Well, the last time they ran the skinny post inside, the defender got caught on the inside. He runs to his outside shoulder, just runs a flag. Nice throw by Crowley.
Caden on for the extra point. It is up, and it is good. 7-3 Stevenson, and what a drive for Armand Burris. He makes the big catch down to the 25-yard line, and then on 4th and goal, wide open for the touchdown at the pylon.
Well, Brent Becker's showing you his confidence in his offense. He's gone for it on 4th down now a few times, telling his team that he doesn't mind going for it. And that's a big shot in the arm for confidence.
Definitely shows a ton of confidence in this group, and it's a group that is looking to bounce back. It's been 2 straight losses for Stevenson, but Don, in the early going, it doesn't look like it's affected their mentality or their mindset.
No, I don't think so, because they really have high expectations here. And, you know, and as I said, they have a great history. I remember the old Bill Mitz teams, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. They were power football. They didn't throw the ball at all, hardly. I knew Bill. I used to laugh and say, when are you going to throw the football? But we had, you know, at that time I was coaching with Libertyville, so we had a lot of dogfights between Stevenson and Libertyville. And then I saw Coach McNamara come in here and win the championship with finesse, throwing the ball around. They had Willie Bourbon at quarterback, you know. They just had a lot of balance at every position. You know, Cam Green played H-back, tight end, ran back some kicks, went over to Northwestern, had a good career over there. So they just said, you know, they had a lot in every position on that championship team.
It's definitely a proud program, and the student section for Stevenson making a lot of noise right now. And a flag. This is going to send Stevenson back. So they'll have to kick from their own 35.
The one thing about this is it gives the kicker a lot of room to kick in spaces in the middle of the field if he can do it. If you can kick past the first line and get that ball to bounce, it can be difficult.
It's Wyatt Sudan, Trey Thompson back deep for the Mustangs. Standing right around the 5-yard line.
We know Sudan in that last outing caught a long bomb, like a 55-yarder. So we know he can fly.
They kick it to Thompson. Fields it just inside the 10 along the near sideline. He's out past the 20, breaks a tackle past the 30, and he is out past the 35-yard line. A really nice return for Trey Thompson.
Yeah, if you're a Mustang fan, you got to get excited about Thompson. He looked like he was on his way to the house.
He did. Had a full head of steam there, but just got tripped up. And they're going to spot it at the 39-yard line. So great field position to start for the Mustangs and their quarterback, Danny McNally.
So Thompson, special teams, both teams doing well on special teams. Really exciting return by Thompson. Let's see what they can do on the offensive side of the ball. They're going trips left.
1st and 10, the Mustangs trail 7-3. Sudan comes in closer to the formation. McNally with the shovel pass forward to Sudan and picks up about 2 yards on the play.
I like the thinking because it looked like speed option to the short side, but then they caught you with the underneath on the shovel pass. So if you're the defensive end and you see that speed option, you better not jump too quick. Stay in your zone and play it.
And by the way, that's good for a completion for McNelly as well, as short as it was.
That's right.
So 2nd and 8 now for the Mustangs.
So 7-3, Stevenson responding to Mundelein's quick score.
Now we'll see if the Mustangs can get a drive going. They send Pollock in motion. McNelly's under pressure, and he is sacked by Adams.
Yeah, Adams made the tackle, but the pressure really came from number 88. He did a great job. That's Jack Staub. Jack Staub made him change directions, and then Adams cleaned him up.
Yeah, really impressive job by the defensive line for Stevenson. And Adams just cleans it up for the sack. So now 3rd and long. Make it 3rd and 16.
Little spice in that Adams.
No question. And he's just a sophomore. 6 foot, 240 pounds.
They're running 5-man front now. They're 5-man.
Looking to put more pressure on McNelly. Fakes the handoff, rolls out, sets his feet, goes for Sudan. It's deflected and caught near the sticks for a first down. What a play by Braden Carmen.
Braden Carmen was really Johnny on the spot, if you will. Very alert. That ball was deflected. It was a good defensive play by Stevenson, but the football guys were working in Mustangs' behalf this time, so they advanced those chains.
Anything you can get on 3rd down and 16, you'll take it. So now 1st and 10 near midfield for the Mustangs. With just about 3.5 minutes to go in the first half, it's a 7-3 lead for Stevenson. And it looks like Coach DeFrancisco will take a timeout here. And Don, I have to imagine with the clock management here, Coach DeFrancisco from midfield, he might be thinking a little bit of 4-minute drill here. Try to run down the clock, get a touchdown before half, and go to the locker room with the lead.
Well, one thing you know when you're in a hurry up, because that's really what you're talking about, a hurry up offense, you want to work this sideline. So it's still football. So if you're trying to work the sideline, stop the clock, you want to run plays that go to the boundary. You want to throw passes that go to the boundary. So if you don't complete them, it stops the clock. So you want to utilize the time that you have. It's 3:25 on the clock. You got plenty of time to, methodically work your drive.
They will have the time to do that. 1st and 10 from midfield. Seven to 3, the Patriots ahead in what has been a very exciting first half. Some sloppiness on both sides, but some fantastic highlight plays on both sides as well. McNelly goes under center, just a quarterback dive, and boy, he picks up 6 yards on the play.
McNelly just using his strength, getting his legs underneath him, and moving the chains. They're moving the sticks. That's what counts here.
McNelly, 185 pounds, so 2nd and 4 from the 44.
They must have a lot of confidence in their center. He's made some great blocks. Brendan Raychick did a nice job, so he's been doing a nice job at that center.
It's an impressive offensive line for the Mustangs. As McNelly will give for Pollock on the left side, scoots his way for a first down near the 35.
Pollock rushed for 77 yards in the last outing. He was their leading rusher. He's their bread and butter guy. He's going to get you to tough yards. We got a player down on Stevenson down there.
Yeah, and it looks like it's Ethan Agacon. And
oh, man, that would be a real loss because you're losing a two-way player in Ethan.
Yeah, we'll have to see officially.
Let me see if I can see him with the binocs here.
you hate to see something like that. We'll have to confirm. That was just from the initial look.
Well, they're crowded around him, so it's probably, and it looks like, yeah. Yeah, you have the Stevenson training staff down there checking him. He's laying on his side. They're checking his left leg and his right leg right now, I'm sorry. No, it is his left leg. And he's up right now.
Gonna have to help him to the sideline, and it is Ethan Agakon.
He's putting some pressure on the leg. It looks like he's walking primarily on his own, so we may see him. I would just let him go in and treat it right now at half. See if you can finish out this last 3 minutes without him, but obviously a critical player, two-way player, all-stater last year as a junior, solid individual, good academically, tough football player. Boy, you're losing leadership there.
No question. Coach Brent Beckers mentioned just obviously an outstanding player, all-state, but the leadership he provides on the field, that's going to be a loss for Stevenson. Hopefully we see him later on in the game.
Especially if you talk about a young football team, you know, they kind of look to him.
1st and 10 for the Mustangs. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. McNelly looking to pass, throws over the middle, deflected, incomplete, and there is that flag
right
down.
At the line of scrimmage, so this is coming back for sure. They threw that pretty quick. Illegal procedure. Yep.
So that sets back the Mustangs 5 yards. 1st and 15 for Mundelein.
So it's been a night of penalties, and that's what we're going to see. The first team to clean up those penalties are going to put themselves in position to win.
Yeah, both sides have to be a little frustrated with the number of mistakes. As McNelly gives for Pollock around the left tackle, gets close to the 40. And for Stevenson on 1st and 15, you'll take that play right there.
Yeah, Anthony Adams playing big on that side of the field, and he's been active tonight. We've called his number a few times.
An impressive player as a sophomore, number 5 out there for Stevenson.
You think about some of the great players that have come through here at Stevenson. I saw Matt O'Dwyer, who was a Northwestern grad, also play, you know, on the NFL level. Most recently.
As McNelly throws, it's batted down, and it's Adams again.
Anthony Adams ball hawking on defense. You can bet his dad's probably sharing some insight with him.
I'm sure he might be here tonight. He's got to be a proud pop.
Yep. You know, getting back to what I was saying, we most recently, Stevenson has to be pretty proud of Aiden O'Connell, who got drafted in the 4th round and is playing with the Vegas Raiders. Hard to say Vegas Raiders, I'm thinking, but the Vegas Raiders. And I was here calling games when he played. You had the Marquise brothers that were playing wide receiver, 2 excellent athletes. One went to Illinois, one went to Iowa, I believe.
A great legacy here at Stevenson that's continued. 3rd and long for the Mustangs. A reverse, and there's a lot of room on that near side, it looked like, and a personal foul coming here.
Yeah, it looked like their noggins hit, and they may call that targeting. You know, when helmets collide, you can bet high school refs are going to be sensitive about calling that kind of play. Question is, who are they calling it on? The offense or the defense?
Looked like it was Broker that took the carry on the reverse.
Looks like the ref is pointing, or maybe that's the timeout.
Block in the back is the call. No personal foul.
No personal foul.
That hit at the end, it didn't sound great, it didn't look great, but no call on it.
No call. and maybe they waved it off. Maybe the other guy said, no, that wasn't targeting. It was a clean hit.
Stevenson declines the penalty to make it 4th down. So an obvious punting situation on 4th down and 16.
Your man, who's back deep, number 10 for Stevenson.
Thomas Simmons back for the Patriots, standing around the 15-yard line. Hermistroff nearly had it blocked, and Simmons comes sliding in to catch it on the fair catch at about the 22. And Don, with 50 seconds here, do you maybe take a shot for Burris?
Well, that didn't look like much what Hermistroff just did. I mean, catching that punt, but that was significant because that could have pushed him back. Here, I'm thinking you have to be careful with, with just 50 seconds on the clock. I would throw a couple times to the boundary. I call 2 plays to the boundary, then take a shot on my 3rd down.
So an opportunity for the sophomore quarterback, Aiden Crawley. Takes the snap, pump fake. He's going to run with it. He's under pressure. Breaks a tackle. Past the 30. And did he get out of bounds? No. The clock continues to run. And Stevenson looks like they took a timeout.
Yeah. Now you can call 2 plays if you're Brent Becker. If you take the timeout, you call 2 plays coming off the timeout. To me, you have to run another play to the boundary because you want to stop the clock without using a timeout. So that's the thinking. Whether it's a running play or a pass play, get something to the boundary, try to get another big chunk play if you can, and then take your shot downfield because Armand Burris has beat the secondary 3 times.
Yeah, we saw he had a chance for a 70-yard touchdown. That's about where they are on the field right now. But no timeouts left for either side, so they do have to use that sideline. That's the best friend for the Patriots right now.
Yeah, what you can do by formation or using motion is get your running back to swing out in the flat. You throw him a quick flat ball. If he can get up the sideline, get what he can, and then get out of bounds, That way you stop the clock because you don't have any timeouts left.
Maybe if you can pick up a 1st down, you can use the spike if you need to. And be interesting to see how aggressive Coach Becker is in this situation. 7-3 lead for Stevenson. Mundelein does get the ball to start in the 2nd half.
Well, he has been aggressive here tonight. We've seen him go for it on 4th down a lot.
Absolutely. As Crawley throws to Burris on the tunnel screen. There's a lot of room on the right side. Using his speed, he's got another blocker. Out of bounds past the 40-yard line in Mundelein territory.
That's the play you needed. A big chunk play, get out of bounds. 1st and 10, looks like the 36. And they ran what they call a rocket screen. Rocket Ismail made that play famous, where your receiver comes back inside. It's an inside screen, cuts across the field, gets to use his speed boundary to boundary.
Oh, nobody was like the Rocket. But Armand Burris looked close right there. Crawley steps up.
There he is.
Looking for Burris. He's got him. Just
Crawley's got to put some air underneath that ball. He's throwing it too flat. It's the same throw. He's got to give Burris more of a chance by putting air underneath the ball. He's throwing a good ball, but he's not giving Burris a chance to judge it.
Well, Don, I don't know how many college scouts we have in attendance tonight, but they got to be keeping an eye on Armand Burris.
Yeah, Burris has got flat out good speed, and he's got length, what I like. He's long. So that bodes well and makes it tough on defenders. Even if you cover him, he can still get to the ball. But this is good for Brent Becker because he's found a hole in their defense. I mean, to me, you can see it, and they can't cover Burris.
There was a flag on the play. Looked to be holding. That'll actually 15 yards. So another personal foul. And once again, Don, we see the penalties have become the story for Stevenson.
And that's going to be the halftime talk. Eliminate the penalties. Let's get into a rhythm. Let's string together 10 plays in a row without getting a penalty. Not hurting ourselves, in essence, right?
So now 1st and 25 with 26 seconds to go in the 1st half. A 7-3 lead for Stevenson. Crawley drops back, throws,
Oh.
and just over the hands there of
Yeah.
the receiver.
Kendrick Kenning again. And he's gone to Kenning a couple of times, number 9. He's run that underneath route to Kenning, who's been playing tight end, and he looks for him. We've seen him like 3 times look for Kendrick Kenning.
So now 2nd and long, 22 seconds.
Well, to me, I'm going with Burris on a. They got trips left. I'm throwing the ball to Burris down here. Give him another shot. But he's got to put air underneath the ball. There he goes.
It's another screen
Rocket
pass.
screen. There he goes.
Burris is brought down near midfield, spun down. And Vinny Rogalski, a little bit of pushing and shoving after the play.
I don't know if they have an adjustment on that play, but you can give them the same look and then come back out to the other's opposite sideline. Break down and then come back out to the sideline and throw it over his left shoulder. Because, man, they're just running to the ball.
Well, Stevenson did call a timeout here. It said on the scoreboard they had none left, but I guess they did have one.
Well, if you just tuned in, Stevenson lost one of their key players, Ethan Aga Khan, the all-state guard, who's a two-way player. And so that is something we're going to keep an eye on coming up in the second half for sure.
Yeah, hopefully he can get some time to recover at halftime. Don, I believe you said it's a little bit of a longer halftime tonight with the homecoming reunion.
Advantageous.
It works out for Ethan Aga Khan. So 3rd down, very long at midfield with 14 seconds to go in the first half, a 7-3 lead for the Patriots.
And that Stevenson Hall of Fame is pretty impressive, you know. I just think about the coaches, Bill Mitz, that is in the Hall of Fame. I think about the most lately, one of the most coveted basketball players.
Jalen Brunson,
That's
I mean,
right.
it doesn't get much better than him in the state of Illinois.
Right, playing for the Knicks. Playing for my guy Walt Perrin over there, an Evanston guy.
Crawley looking deep.
There
Goes
he is,
for
there he is.
Burris. In and out of the hands, broken up by Hermistroff.
Yeah. But see, you got to get a trailer behind him. You know, when he's running that deep route, get a trailer behind him.
Get that deflection possibly.
Absolutely.
So now Stevenson brings the punt team on with 8 seconds to go on 4th down, and you never know what can happen on a punt.
Well, you never know. It's 8.7 seconds. It's about 7 seconds per play. You got to figure in football, so you could theoretically throw again, and it's like a punt.
It looks like Mundelein's going for the block here on Costable. They got some pressure, but Costable gets it away.
Nice
Sudan
roll.
Another very nice punt by Frank Costable, and that will do it for the first half. And 7-3, Stevenson with the lead at the end of the first half. Don, your thoughts on that opening first half?
Well, I liked kind of what I saw out of Stevenson offensively. Obviously, the big thing is you got to clean up those penalties because that throws your offensive rhythm out of sync. You make 2 good plays and then you have 2 bonehead penalties, and then that throws everything off. You lose your concentration. So I'm sure that's what Coach will be talking about at halftime. Also the health of Ethan Aga Khan. And then I liked, to me, I see a clear advantage with Burris. I'm chucking it up to him in the second half. But I'm running some routes off of him too with a second player. But Burris can exploit their defense. That's what I see.
He was very impressive. Had the touchdown catch in the first half. That's led to the 7-3 lead for Stevenson over Mundelein. We're going to take a break here for halftime. You're watching the CAC Network Game of the Week.
Every goal, every touchdown, a promise. And that promise deserves safeguarding. Introducing draft protection and loss of value insurance. Dream without limits. We've got the coverage. Opalentia. Plan your legacy. Call us now at 708-505-9719.
welcome back to Stevenson High School. Halftime wrapping up 7-3. The Stevenson Patriots lead the Mundelein Mustangs. Former Northwestern Wildcat Don Johnson and Connor Klingen with you. And Don, we had the Hall of Fame honored at halftime at Stevenson High School, and you wanted to give a special shout out to head coach Bill Mitz, who was head coach here from 1982 to 2010. What a career he had, 22 state playoff appearances.
Well, Coach Mitz was the guy that kind of laid the foundation, if you will. Tom Bauman was before him in 1965 when they got this thing started. It's funny, one of Bauman's players told me an anecdotal story that when they first started the program, they didn't have a field, so they had to go over to a small airstrip that was used by the Nike missile site and practice over there. So that was in 1965. So
boy,
anyway,
how times have changed.
Yeah, completely. Look at this. It looks like a small college pro stadium, right? But, yeah, Coach Mitz was quite a guy, set a nice tone here, and was, you know, in the playoffs for several consecutive years there. He was one of the great coaches in the Stevenson history. I knew his brother. His brother coached me at Northwestern, position coach there. I was a running back, and got to know Mitz when Libertyville played Cary Grove in the championship. His son was playing quarterback for Cary Grove, and we were on the sidelines, and I did a couple of sideline interviews with Coach Mitz when his son was playing for Cary Grove.
Running that option, I assume.
Running the option, and he was running it well. And that was Libertyville's year. They went 14-0. And Mitz was once again on the losing end of Libertyville, a thorn in his side. But, you know, it was a well-contested game. But when we talk about that history, it is so rich here.
It really is, and you can kind of feel it here at this school, just the pride that this community has, and of course Mundelein as well, with all the fans that made the trip out. I see the Red Rage is getting wild before this second half, and Don, it was a tightly contested first half. What do you see as some of the keys to the second half?
Well, like I said, the biggest thing is you've got to clean up the errors. You can't have the miscues, because what they do is stall off drives. So you want to sequence a series of 6 to 10 plays. That lets you know that your team is locked in mentally when they can run 6 to 10 plays without making a mistake. So that would be my goal. If I'm Brent Becker, I'd be throwing the ball to Armand Burris.
Yeah, we saw Burris take over the game in that second quarter. Had the big catch down to the 25, and then the touchdown that gave Stevenson the lead. Mundelein will start with the football. Caden on to kick off the second half. And he boots it deep. Trey Thompson will take it at the goal line out of his own end zone. Cuts back towards the middle of the field. And he is brought down at just about the 17-yard line.
Yeah, we'll see where they set up shop. Offense here. And most importantly, coming into this third quarter, because the third quarter is always that swing quarter. And you need to grab the momentum. If you're Mundelein Mustangs, again, you want to string together 6 plays with no interruptions, meaning no penalties, no turnovers.
We didn't see that too often in the first half. Danny McNelly, the quarterback.
I was impressed with McNelly in the first half because he can really get outside the pocket and throw the football.
And he hands off up the middle. Able to pick up 5-6 yards on first down. A good gain for Brody Pollock.
Brody Pollock is your grinder. He's the guy that's going to give you that inside presence, number 15 there.
Second and 5, maybe 4 yards for the Mustangs. We'll see if this running game can really get going in the second half. It has been a powerful ground attack for the Mustangs through their first 4 games. They send Bogenski in motion. As Crawley gives once again for Pollock, and able to pick up the first down past the 25.
That was a great tackle by Concholi because he looked like he was going to get more out of that.
Yeah, he had a big head of steam going there. Looked like it could have been 20 or 30 yards for Pollock.
One thing I've been noticing is that the Mustangs have had their most successful runs to the weak side of the formation. They overload one way and then run to the weak side. They've been doing that all night with the quarterback or with a running back. Here we go with trips right.
McNelly will give left side again. About the 30-yard line.
And
been a steady diet of Pollock.
Yeah, and it's a numbers game. Again, they run to the weak side. They give you the right overload with trips right, and then they run the big power back to the weak side of the formation where there are less men. He has less men to beat on that side.
2nd and 7 for the Mustangs at their own 30-yard line. Just about 10 minutes left in this third quarter. It's a 7-3 lead for Stevenson. Trips to the right side of the formation. As McNelly rolls out to that right side, throws, Sudan takes a hit from Armand Burris.
Armand Burris saw that coming from left field. He took a running sprint and put his shoulder into the receiver and kind of woke him up there. Hello, you're in Armand territory.
That looked like a hit into the boards from Armand Burris back in his hockey days.
Yeah, it did. It looked like a check. It really did.
So 3rd and 7 now for the Mustangs on this opening drive of the second half.
Big down here, 3rd down. Let's see if they convert. They got a long way to go here.
McNelly with the shovel pass for Sudan, and he's close to the marker. Looks like he's a little bit short to bring up a 4th down.
Really slick play calling, using opportunity to run the shovel pass for a defensive end that could be overreacting again to the short side of the field.
And Vince DeFrancisco electing to send out the punt team here on 4th and 2.
Oh, we saw big Brandon Hansen coming off the field. Boy, he is a big kid.
Huge. 6'6", 315 pounds.
He looks like a man among boys. He's a massive guy.
Gets the punt away. It will take a bounce, a Stevenson bounce at about the 31-yard line. That's where the Patriots will take over. And Don, we saw this offense start to get some momentum near the end of the first half.
Yeah, we did. And the thing that allowed them to do that is we were getting a nice balance with their run and pass game. Because I got to tell you, I was really impressed with Thorndike's wiggle and his explosiveness. I had already seen Constable, but hey, Thorndike is just as dangerous.
Both really impressive. There was a flag on that play, so it was against Mundelein. We might see a re-kick here. There's a discussion and probably a decision to be made for Brent Becker in this situation.
And tonight he's been deciding on the aggressive side.
He declines the penalty, so they'll just take the ball. Pretty good field position for the Patriots beyond the 30-yard line.
Let's see if they come back with their steady diet of running. Who do they have in the backfield next? Oh, Constable's back there.
Burris in motion. He'll take it on the sweep. Around the far
gone.
sideline.
He's gone.
Turns on the Jets. Armand Burris will take it to the house as he high steps his way to the end zone. It's 13-3 Patriots.
That's a 60-yard run by Armand Burris.
But it's coming back once again.
Wow. We had some excitement there for a minute.
Well, this time I didn't see the flag until late. It was some of the Mundelein fans pointing to the backfield. Once again, a holding call takes away a long touchdown for the Patriots.
They went with the jet sweep again with Armand Burris He got to the edge. Once he gets to the edge, it's over because he's got that fourth gear. You can see that. And as I do the eye test on the front line, Ethan Aga Khan is out there back at guard. So whatever it was, he weathered the storm at halftime. Whatever injury he sustained, he's back out there.
Well, that's massive for the Patriots on both sides. Big part of the offensive and defensive lines. Constable in the game at tailback along with Crawley. Looking to pass.
Oh, deflected
and nearly intercepted. Good play by the defense. Finn O'Malley was right in the area.
Yeah, I think it was Adam Boganski got his hand up, 85. He got his big paw on that, and what coaches tell you when you're a defender, if you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up in the passing lane and try to distract him.
Well done there by the Mundelein defense. Second down and long for the Patriots, who lead 7-3. They give it along the right side. Good amount of room there. And it was Kendrick Kenning who took it on the sweep there out to about the 25. Still short of the original line of scrimmage.
A lot of athletic weapons in this backfield for Stevenson. It almost makes you think that they could run a little wing T with all the weapons they have, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bring it back old school. We saw that last week on the Game of the Week with Grays Lake Central.
That's right.
So third and long for the Patriots.
Burris is coming wide left here. Canning's in the slot. So they got three receivers to the left here. He's looking at Burris already.
Crawley throws, intercepted! Going the other way down the near sideline and brought down at about the 10-yard line. What a play by the defense. Jake Junia with the pick.
Well, there was clearly a miscommunication between Crowley and his receivers. Crowley threw the ball to the inside. His receivers were on the outside. Ball got deflected. Junia, who made a big play last week on the offensive side of the ball, 37-yard run, comes up with a big interception at 7:56 in the third.
Once again, it looks like there's a flag down. We'll have to see if this came. Looks like it was after the interception, so.
Yeah, probably a block in the back. Something that happened on the sideline.
That indeed looks like the call. 7:56 to go in the third. And a huge turnover, and that was the way that Mundelein put up 3 points in the first quarter. Came via turnover. They were able to come away with a field goal. In this instance, they get an interception. That flag will bring them back a little bit, but still a great opportunity.
I personally think that Stevenson's being a little conservative here because I would come out gunslinging with Burris. I wouldn't even fake it. I would come out throwing to him, period, because they can't cover him. To me, that's what I see. And I wouldn't run any underneath stuff. I'd run deep stuff all the way because they have not covered him.
They haven't. They've had an issue, but in that instance, the pass coverage, pass defense coming up in a big way. Jake Junia with the pick. 1st and 10 at the 38 for the Mustangs.
Big turnover.
Pollock behind McNelly in the backfield. They fake to him. Looking deep for the
Fade,
shot.
he's got him.
They've got Sudan, but just overthrown by a touch. Looking for the quick strike. Sudden change offense.
I love it. I love it. It's a play call that I would make, I got to tell you. When you see Wyatt Sudan, who's got the speed, he beat the defender. The fade was there. But these young quarterbacks tend to throw the ball on the line. You have to, when he's that wide open, you got to put air underneath the ball to give him a chance to judge it. And we've seen both quarterbacks on both sides make that error. Because those are touchdown throws.
Could have been a couple of touchdowns tonight. So now 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs. McNelly under pressure right away, and it's Aga Khan with the sack.
Well, that's what you want out of your star player, to come up big, and we're so glad to see him back on the field. Although number 12 has been I'm impressed with the way he plays. But Ethan Agakhan, a real all-stater.
And that's just a massive sack because now Mundelein way behind the chains. Looks to be about 3rd down and 20.
Where are they marking the ball? At the
48-yard line. They need to get down.
So that's a loss of about 10 yards. Aga Khan, big sack.
Huge sack for the Patriots. Sudan comes in motion. It's a reverse.
Flea flicker.
And they're going to pass the ball down. Offensive lineman picks it up. There's a flag down.
They were going with the flea flicker.
That was a lot of trickery.
Yeah, it was a lot of trickery.
I'm not sure if that was may have been the official was just trying to mark where the fumble occurred. You can't advance a fumble, of course.
Yep. So it's a dead ball at that point. But they were trying to flea flicker. They had it set up. But then somebody, I think, hacked the ball out of the quarterback's hand, or whoever the runner was at that particular time. So third quarter always being a critical quarter, a critical swing quarter. So we'll see which team is able to settle down, because both teams still have not run a clean series of plays.
So let's see what we get from the officials. It was a face mask on Stevenson, and that's an automatic first down. What a break for the Mustangs.
Yeah, what a change of scenery, if you will.
15 yards and 1st and 10 on a play that looked like it was a disaster, but they're bailed out with the face mask.
And that's kind of how the night has been going. What we see isn't necessarily what it is, right?
And just when you think Stevenson's going to come away with a big stop, another penalty. Here's McNelly throwing to the right.
Almost intercepted.
Cooper incomplete.
Actually, the Stevenson defender was in better position on that. That's a long throw he has to make.
Now, Don, I'm a little confused here because it was a personal foul, so it should be an automatic first down. But right now, the marker is saying that it's 4th down.
Yeah, I see the placement of the marker, but like you said, that doesn't jibe. It doesn't work together.
Doesn't seem to make too much sense. So we're going to go with it's 4th down and 5 for the Mustangs.
Too many players on the field there for the Mustangs, and they had to call a timeout.
A timeout taken by Vince DeFrancisco.
Players put his hands on his head. Too many players on the field. You got to get your personnel groupings together. Too critical at this point in the game. A 7-3 ball game. Conference weight on the line right here.
This is at this point. 6:50 left in the third quarter. You're down 7-3. This is the biggest play call of the season for the Mustangs at this point. For Vince DeFrancisco. And remember, as we said at the beginning of the game, if Mundelein were to win tonight, they clinch a playoff berth, which would just be massive for this program.
Oh, it would be huge. And what a tipping of the cart, or a tipping of the weight of the top teams. Mundelein would now be in the conversation with the top teams in this area.
Well, now it looks like Coach DeFrancisco has decided to bring the punt team out, try to pin Stevenson back deep, and
I got a feeling we're going to see a trick play here. I don't know why.
We saw an attempted fake earlier. We'll see if they try it again.
This would be the opportune field position to do it in. See?
Hermstrop will throw. It's batted down, and Stevenson will take over.
I called that. I could see just the, they looked. they've been gambling tonight. Both coaches have, and so when you get field position where you can gamble, you might as well take it.
So Stevenson takes over. Don, are you a little surprised they didn't just bring the offense out there on 4th and 5?
I am. I would have just brought the offense out and let them run a play. It's effectively the same thing. And you didn't trick them. They were ready for it.
They did seem prepared.
Yeah.
Batted down right away.
And I think the field position gave it away. You know, if you're a head coach, this would be the point on the field where you would try something because you don't lose a lot of field position.
So Stevenson will start at their own 34.
Well, Burris has man coverage. I'm throwing the ball right off the snap right now if I'm the quarterback.
Oh, a bad snap. Crawley bobbles it for a moment, and he just has to fall on it for a loss.
Yeah. See, to me, I would be aggressive throwing the ball. I would tell my quarterback, if you see Burris in man coverage, throw it over his left shoulder. No hesitation. Just change the play and throw it.
Just take the snap and chuck it.
That's right.
So 2nd and 12 for the Patriots. They lead 7-3 about halfway through the 3rd quarter.
This time Burris is going right, and let's see how they line up. Right now they're showing man. Man, and if they show man, I'm throwing it to them.
They're going to hand off for Costable on the right side. And he gets past the 35-yard line. Solid gain on 2nd down to set up a 3rd and manageable.
Is that about 3rd and 7, maybe?
Looks to be 3rd and 7. Stevenson at their own 37-yard line. And you have to think, Don, as you've been saying, they're going to be looking at number 2 right here.
But now you got to put a little air underneath the ball. Don't make him work so hard for it.
They're going to go with the screen pass again to Burris, and he is stacked up. Couple of men in there, but it looked to be Braden Carman first, making the tackle on Burris on the screen pass.
Well, they're going to the well too many times. They've telegraphed that play. You can tell by formation that they're going to run the rocket screen or the middle screen to the wide receiver. Now you have to do something where he fakes that and goes outside.
Well, that would be really dangerous.
Yeah, it would be.
Costable on to punt. Sudan is back deep for Mundelein.
Good kick, nice and high, tight spiral.
No fair catch.
No, he didn't.
It was actually Rogalski. Let's see the call here.
Yeah, but
they have to give him room to catch
Burris
it.
came down there, I think. It didn't look like Burris gave him room enough to catch that ball. But I don't think the halo's in effect anymore. Not on the high school level.
Mundelein fans are frustrated here.
I can understand why they would be upset, but I don't believe the halo rule is in effect anymore. Not on the high school level. And another thing on the high school level, you can face guard, which means put your hands up over the guy's face so he can't see the ball as a defender. You can do that legally. So there's a lot of little quirky things. Vinny D really upset. Coach DiFrancesco showing his emotion on the sideline.
Yeah, he's not too happy with that.
And he's letting the linesman have it right now. An earful.
So that will result in Mundelein starting their own 23. I didn't see it. Maybe it's possible Rogalski called for a fair catch very late.
Yeah,
and they didn't see it, but I didn't see it.
I didn't either.
So now McNelly and company will take the football.
Here comes the blitz. They're showing blitz.
Go under center. Sudan
they got it
out wide, and he's brought down.
That play was dead on arrival because they had diagnosed it. They were bringing the house on the blitz, and you can't block it.
Well done there by Thomas Simmons, making the tackle for loss, a loss of 3 for Mundelein.
Yes.
As the 3rd quarter continues to melt away, just about 4 minutes left in the 3rd, and Stevenson ahead 7-3.
Well, I know Coach likes to dabble with the defense, but he'll move around and try to be the glue in different areas, even though he's the head coach.
McNally over the middle. It's tipped at the line, incomplete. Looked like Luke Nelson again got a hand on.
A lot of tip throws. You can tell they're well coached. Get your hands up in the passing lane. McNally is having difficulty being able to find a clear throwing lane.
So 3rd and long, 3rd and 12 for Mundelein at their own 21-yard line.
You got Adams, Washington, Aga Khan up there, and Georgiev, man, and they've been getting their hands up. Nice job.
McNally under pressure right away. Escapes.
Intercepted.
And it is intercepted by Griffin Surin. Well, Griffin Surin had an interception for a touchdown earlier this season. He comes away with his 2nd pick of the year, and what an opportunity for the Patriots.
Well, sometimes your best offense can be your defense. And Griffin did a great job of getting himself positioned. Their drops were good, and they were able to get a turnover down here. Now I'm taking a shot right off the bat.
I like the way you think, Don. That sudden change off the turnover. And Armand Burris on the right side.
And he's got man covered, so I'm throwing the ball to him.
Whistle blows and a timeout taken by Mundelein. And I think Coach DeFrancisco, he maybe saw that man coverage and thought, we got to get out of this.
I know. See, I would be telling the quarterback Crowley that if you see Burris in man coverage, don't even fade back. Just call it immediately and throw it over his right shoulder. You know, put air underneath the ball, which he hasn't been able to do tonight successfully. But when your guy's beating the defender the way he is.
Well, and I think for Coach Becker, too, you have a young sophomore quarterback.
Yes.
He just threw an interception.
Yes.
But maybe in this instance you say, okay, maybe you throw another pick, but it's in the end zone.
Right.
And the other 50% is it's another touchdown, and we're up by 2 scores.
I like the fact that they're having trouble covering Burris.
He sent Constable in motion, takes it through the right side, and he's able to get down all the way to the 15-yard line.
Now, the way they used Constable in motion on that, it reminded me of the U.S. Army and also the Air Force. The way the Air Force runs their triple option, where the back goes in motion and he gets depth, and then he has a good running angle behind the tackle.
That gave him a great burst through the hole. Burris at the bottom of your screen. Crawley will give up the middle. And that will be close to a first down. It was Christopher Thorndike that time.
Thorndike has the quickest feet. I like both of them, but Thorndike has more wiggle than you think, and he's quick.
Both have been impressive at tag team at running back. And right now, both of them on the field, and that gives Coach Becker a few options as well.
There's got to be a wheel route in that play call somewhere. You got 2 fast backs. You know what I mean? All you got to do is you set it up so the back is running isolated against the linebacker on the weak side of the field.
Griffin Surin in there as well. 3 tight ends in the formation here for Stevenson, and whistles and a flag. Actually, Stevenson called the timeout before the penalty.
Once again, I saw them line up with a pre-snap look. Burris had man coverage. I know football has its cues, and it's not that complex when you get down there, you know. Especially if you see an advantage tip to your side. You have to recognize that and then make them stop you.
Armand Burris, so far, has been the difference maker in this ball game.
He has. Very impressive athlete. They might have to start finding ways to get him the ball, even more so.
Well, if you're Mundelein, how do you defend a receiver like that? Do you just bracket him with a safety every time? How do you deal with a receiver doing that much damage as he has tonight.
Well, look at the cushion that the guy's playing. It's playing like a 15-yard cushion on him. So the underneath is there. You just pull up and throw him the ball immediately.
Constable in motion
Touchdown.
on the pitch.
He's in.
Spins. He is into the end zone.
There's a flag down.
Touchdown and a flag. Coming back again.
Beautiful run by Constable. I like how he was patient with his blockers and then he cut back against the grain. I love the way this guy runs with such physicality, but unfortunately, that's going to go all for naught.
That is the third time tonight that a holding penalty has brought back a touchdown for Stevenson. And they've been the right calls, but that has to be frustrating for Stevenson. You think you've got that 2-score lead, and all of a sudden you're marching back.
I don't want to state the obvious, but I think the first team that is able to stop getting penalized will win this game. 2:14 in the third. Now it's about you got to eliminate mistakes that hurt you.
It's a 7-3 lead still for Stevenson. It is still first down.
And again, Burris in man coverage.
At the bottom of your screen, and some movement. False start there. Albert Murillo moved his foot, and they'll go even further back.
I would call the huddle over as the head coach right now, and I just tell them it's going to be on first down. It's going to be on first down. So everybody knows, so they sit in there, because if you can't even run a play, it doesn't matter. Just call it on first down. You need execution on this side of the field.
First down and 25. Crawley.
There it is. There
going
it is.
Deep
Touchdown.
for Burris.
Oh.
Deflected. What a play defensively. Huge pass breakup in the end zone.
Yep, but there again, quarterback throw the ball too late into the route. You got to throw the ball right off the snap, not wait until he gets open, but you throw it before he breaks open, and there's no drop. It's like just you take the snap and throw the ball over the shoulder to put the pressure on the defender. The defenders are taught to read the receiver's eyes, right? Run with him, read his eyes, turn and look for the ball, and you see his eyes get big, right? You got to throw the ball quick so he can't peek.
High snap to Crawley. They give up the middle, and Constable is able to get to the 16-yard line. What a job on the pass breakup by Ian Murray. A flag came out late here.
Yeah, there's a lot of jaw jacking going on down there.
There's another one.
When I say that, they're talking to each other. Tempers are starting to get edgy. This is a close game. It's for big stakes, too. 7-3.
Conference game. Stevenson trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Mundelein looking to clinch a playoff berth.
What a year for Vince.
Yeah. Very high stakes in this game. And this is going to be all sorted out by the officials. These could be offsetting. Let's see the
Yeah,
call.
more than likely. They're taking such a long time. I don't know what they're doing, but it's distracting the game. You want the game to keep moving along. If you're the referees, you don't want to stop the game every second.
And they do just offset.
Yeah.
And Vince DeFrancisco is all the way out near midfield.
Yeah, he's got to be careful because you're not allowed to go outside the coaching box. Now, one coach can, but that's about it during a timeout. But you're not, and referees are really edgy about that.
You don't want to end up picking up another penalty. So third down and long for Stevenson as Coach DeFrancisco is continuing to discuss. And I'm wondering if whatever he saw in that scrum, it must have been he thought whatever Stevenson did was a lot worse.
Well, he is giving the line judge an earful right now.
And he's going to pick up another penalty.
Get it. There you go. He wanted to get it, and he got it. That was his intent. And we've seen that many times in baseball games where the coach wants to get it, and he stays out there until he gets it.
So do you think Coach DeFrancisco maybe was seeing a little bit of a lack of fire in the second half, trying to inspire that from his team?
He may very well be doing that, but I don't think you want to give away field positions down here at this juncture. His team is good enough to win this game on their own.
Absolutely.
I don't particularly care for them this many stoppages in play. I think the referees need to move it along and, and get going. This is rather annoying to the fans and to the coaches.
And I think it's a moment where the officiating crew needs to speak to the coaches, the captains of both teams, and say, let's sort this out.
Right.
It's a conference game, emotions are high, but let's play clean, good football.
Right. If you say that, if you tell the kids that, sometimes I don't even think you need to involve the coaches. Just tell the kids that on the field. Okay, because now I'm going to call it tighter. You need to be aware of this. Stop the nonsense on the field so we can get this thing played in a competitive way,
Well, now Coach Becker is asking for an explanation. Christopher Thorndike is over there as well.
Well, the thing that is that experienced coaches are going to challenge the referees on rules. They'll quote the rules to them. You know what I mean? To get the advantage.
Be interesting to see the penalty yardage added up in this game. I mean, it's had to be well over 100 yards.
While we were talking at halftime, we had a few scores. Lake Forest was up on Zion Benton 21-6, and Antioch had a substantial lead on Grays Lake North 43-6.
A lot of great action across the IHSA, and this has been a really tightly contested game, but way too many penalties on both sides.
But it's kind of taken away from the good football that we've seen.
It has. So now first down after the unsportsmanlike.
Burris again drawing the man coverage. I'm throwing to the flag right now. Well, if I see man and I see Burris, you see how tight he is? That guy is not going to cover him to the flag. And you throw it over the left shoulder immediately off the snap.
I'm looking at the marker. Still fourth down right now. I think the officials haven't explained it should be first down based on that last penalty. But let's see if they move the marker, and they do flip it back. It should be third down is what it is now.
So if I was Stevenson, I would have 2 plays called here. If this one doesn't go, come right back with the other one really quick.
They give to Thorndike, and it's taken away by Mundelein. Another huge turnover, and once again, Jake Junia comes away with it.
Well, it was a ball handling problem in the backfield. They were trying to run, it looked like some type of reverse. Junia comes up with it.
Well, wait a minute. This is being called back. There was another penalty on the play, so Stevenson keeps the football. But it will be fourth down. I'm not sure. I guess they just ruled that the runner was down in the backfield.
Stevenson will attempt the field goal here.
So it'll be Caden on to kick it. Just about 25 yards. It's up, and it is good. It's a 10-3 lead for Stevenson after a very long drive in real time based on all the penalties we saw. But they now have a lead by a touchdown and the extra point. The largest lead of the night.
And that was critical for them to get some points out of a long drive. We got a player down on Mundelein about the 20-yard line. Let's see who it is. Take a look, see who's down.
Well, looks like
24.
Back up to his feet. Maddox Hermistroff, who's done a great job at safety.
He has.
Also the punter for the Mustangs.
Yeah, he's got those soccer style, or rugby style punts, and pretty impressive.
So Don, after that drive, you have to imagine the Mundelein sideline is really fired up.
I would think there was a lot of pent-up aggression based upon the number of penalties called, how much time was wasted on that side of the field, and they've got to be ready to go for this series. So we'll see how they respond.
But they also have to be careful to avoid any penalties caused by that extra motivation.
Yeah, it's got to be composure. That's really where poise and composure in this series. You don't want any miscues here. It's got to be about the discipline of the play.
Trey Thompson, Wyatt Sudan back deep, and we've seen Thompson with some nice returns tonight.
You knew exactly what I was thinking. Trey Thompson almost took it to the house and gave a great field position on his last kick return. Let's see what they do here if they kick it to him.
Yeah, they may try to avoid it.
I would.
The kick. Probably the right call. We'll see if they direct it towards Sudan. As he boots it
away
deep
from him.
Near the end zone. Sudan caught it in the end zone, so it's an automatic touchback in the IHSA. So Mundelein will start at their own 20.
Well, this is when you need somebody in your offense to make a play. And that means you have to go in, your quarterback's got to go in there and settle down the guys in the huddle and say, we got to string together 6 plays. No penalties, no jumping offside, being focused. And that's what's going to get the win in this game tonight. A team that can do that.
Adam Al-Khatib into the game at halfback, and they give it to Al-Khatib. Shifts his way, able to pick up 5 yards on first down.
To be a big guy, he's kind of got pretty shifty feet. I like what he did on that run. He's got good vision.
Yeah, he's been a little shaken up over the past couple of weeks, and it looked like he was a little gingerly coming off of that run. Hopefully he's all right, because that's the kind of back you need late in the game. The running game hasn't been too consistent for Mundelein. Al-Khatib remains out there. Carmen comes in closer in line. They give for Al-Khatib, and he's able to pick up a few, still short of the first down.
You can see that Mundelein is going to the ground and pound. And they do have enough time right now. They don't have to panic. But they need to possess the ball and not turn it over.
3rd and 2. Looks like Pollock has come back in at running back. As McNelly will give to Pollock. And he's stacked up close to the line. Looks like he's short, and it looked like Luke Nelson making the stop short of the sticks. Big time play by Nelson.
Luke did a great job. He read it, he got off the block and met the runner, and you saw the runner go backwards. So he made great shoulder contact, got his shoulder pad level down low, met the runner.
Huge stop for the Patriots, and that brings a close to the 3rd quarter. Stevenson leads it 10-3 in what has been a tight ball game on our CAC Network Game of the Week. Stay right here, the 4th quarter coming up.
Every goal, every touchdown, a promise, and that promise deserves safeguarding. Introducing draft protection and loss of value insurance. Dream without limits. We've got the coverage. Opalentia. Plan your legacy. Call us now at 708-505-9719.
Don, 4th and short for the Mustangs, and they're going to go for it here.
Big down here for the Mustangs. They can pick up this first down.
Maybe just trying to draw the Patriots offside, but McNelly will keep it himself. Looks like he got enough of a push for the first down.
Yeah, big surge up front with his offensive line. It looks like he was able to get The yardage. Yep, they call it a first down.
Huge first down for the Mustangs.
They have a lot of confidence in Brendan Raychick, the center. All night he's been making those key blocks.
But now Danny McNelly is down.
Oh, that's not good.
The quarterback for the Mustangs, and that would be a huge loss.
Yeah, he's got his hands over on his head, and it looks like they're looking at his left knee. No, that might be his right knee. He's got the, yeah, they're working on the right knee.
Well, you hate to see something like this. Fourth quarter of what's been a really tightly contested ball game. Danny McNelly has been very tough back there at quarterback, but now, Don, the Mustangs, you know, they may have to turn to Griffin Troja, the backup here.
Well, Griffin is a senior too, right? He's a senior?
Also a senior.
Yep. But he's coming in a tough circumstance.
And you know, McNelly being helped to the sidelines, and
it's his right leg. He's not put any pressure on his right leg, so he looks like he's done for the evening.
And the student section here chanting Danny for Danny McNelly, and hope the best for him moving forward. But Don, as you said, looks like most likely won't be coming back into this game. So now it's Griffin Troja, who's also a senior, but has not attempted a pass to this point. And Troja will go under center. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. They pitch it for Pollock. On the near side, breaks a tackle. And he's close to the 35-yard line.
Good gang tackling by Stevenson. They strung that out. They got good inside-out pursuit, as we like to say, using the sideline as a friend. And that's the way you draw it up on defense. Anyway, if you want to get as many green jerseys to the flying to the ball as you can.
So 2nd down and 8. Was just a couple of yards there for Pollock. Trips to the right as they send a man in motion. Troja gives for Pollock, and he stretches out close to the 40, near the sticks.
Good solid tackle by John Concialdi. He came up, number 42.
They were able to stop Pollock just short of picking up that first down. 3rd and 2 for the Mustangs. About 10.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Stevenson leads 10-3. Can Griffin Troja, the backup quarterback, lead the Mustangs on a drive to tie the game? Sudan in motion. Troja gives. And Pollock breaks a tackle after picking up the first down and is brought down at about the 45-yard line.
Good second effort by Pollock. He was met at the line of scrimmage, and then he bounced it and had that good second effort is what made that run.
It hasn't necessarily come easy, but we're starting to see the Mustangs churn out some yards on the ground that they weren't in the first half.
Well, it helps when you get behind Hansen, the big tackle, man. You can see him from here. He takes up that whole left side of the line.
315 pounds. They may want to run to that left side again, and yes, they do. And Pollock is out past the 50. Picks up 6 yards on first down. Actually, that was Al-Khatib on the carry there.
Yeah, but they did run in behind Hansen, the big 300-pounder, and that's what you want to do. You want to let him earn his onions here. He's a guy that's committed to Illinois, and so now you want to see his bench press, and you want to see him come off that line.
He's going to go play for Brett Bielema.
Yeah.
Great coach to play for as an offensive lineman.
Yep, he knows that Big Ten conference. You can see he's building something at Illinois. He really is.
It is Pollock in the backfield. Sudan and Bogensky in motion. And they give to Sudan, jet sweep. A flag comes out. Sudan is past the first down, but let's see what the flag is. It looks like this is coming back.
Well, I like the idea of what the Mustangs just did there. Nice play design, but there again, we've had penalties all night, so that's been the problem.
And it looks like Wyatt Sudan also went down there. Or not Sudan, rather, another player down for Mundelein.
Looks like 85.
It's Bogensky, which would be big loss. Captain of the team, middle linebacker, tight end as well.
Yeah, you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose the heart and soul out there. Your heart and soul players that really motivate the rest of the team.
Now you have Danny McNelly out on the sideline, went down earlier in this drive, and now Adam Bogensky. Actually, that's Braden Carmen who springs up there. So
Carmen, but I saw 85 down over here too. So who knows?
It looks like Carmen's all right. The penalty brings the play back. So it'll be 2nd and long for the Mustangs.
Well, it's good when you see a player walk off the field on their own. That's a good sign.
It was an illegal shift. So that sets Mundelein back. They trail by a touchdown, 8:40 to go, and Don, the clock isn't a concern yet, but if you don't score on this drive, it becomes a big concern.
It does. You need points if you're Mundelein here in this drive.
With the backup quarterback, Griffin Troja, in the game. 2 wide receivers to his right, 1 to the bottom of your screen.
Blitz.
Troja takes snap. Under pressure, he goes down. We'll have to see the call if he got that away. It could be intentional grounding.
Yeah, coming off the edge was Luke Nelson, the junior, 6'2", 190. They had the blitz on. It was a good call. He went in unblocked. The quarterback never had a chance.
And they did rule it a sack. No, incomplete pass is the call. I thought the knee was maybe down, and I'm a little surprised that grounding wasn't called, but there must have been a receiver in the area. So now a 3rd and long for Troja and the Mustangs.
Yep, 3rd in Wisconsin. Bootleg.
Fake the handoff, rolling right, a throw right, incomplete. So now 4th and 13. Obvious punting situation for the Mustangs with just under 8 minutes to go.
If I'm Stevenson, I'm calling all-out punt rush on this. I'm getting after the punter. You should give good field position anyway based upon where the ball's at, unless he gets a Ray Guy kickoff.
It's Maddox Hermistroff out to punt.
Who has punted well
He's
tonight.
punted very well. He's pinned a couple inside the 10 with that rugby-style kick. Hirsch back for Stevenson, and Hermistroff gets it away. Rather, that is Timmons. He'll just let it bounce. And it rolls down at the 20. So for Mundelein, you'll take that.
Oh, yeah. He did his job as a punter. And he's been executing all the night because that's a subtle thing, those yards you give away in the special teams. Doesn't look like much, but it is.
Don, 7:50 to go. Stevenson ahead 10-3. Have to imagine we're going to see a steady diet of Frank Constable and Christopher Thorndike.
I would go to them. They're capable players that they play physical, but yet they have breakaway speed. I like them both.
Both are out there. Constable comes in motion, takes the handoff through a hole, and is able to pick up about 3 yards on 1st down.
Constable has one speed, explosive. when he hits that hole. Not a big guy, but man, he goes in there and throws caution to the wind. I love it. One of my favorite sayings is the explosive athlete changes the game, you know? And he's one of those.
He has changed the game. There is a flag on this play. What else is new?
I know. They need to keep those flags in their pocket for this quarter.
Discussion here between the officials. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Mundelein. 15-yard penalty. And that really hurts for the Mustangs, trailing by a touchdown.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, we've seen a lot of penalties tonight. And, you know, I'm a big advocate of the referees, but I don't like it when it gets in the way of the game. The game is the thing that you want these kids to enjoy, and you want the fans to enjoy it too.
And there has been a lot of laundry flying out on the field tonight. 1st and 10, Stevenson at their own 35. Make that the 37. As Thorndike is in the backfield with Crawley. Constable in motion. They do the shovel pass.
That's the counter
but that
I was
is
talking
snuffed
about.
out.
What they did, that was the counter. Oh, we got a little pushing going on over here.
Don, I don't think these teams like each other too much.
Well, I'm sure this being a North Suburban Conference matchup, that there's going to be some edginess out there, if you want to say it that way. And in light of the season that the Mustangs are having, they're sort of putting other teams on notice.
They really have, and they need a stop from their defense here. 2nd down and 12. They send Burris on the jet sweep. He is swallowed up in the backfield. A few tacklers in there for Mundelein. Ian Murray making another big defensive play. He had the huge pass breakup in the end zone, and there a tackle for loss.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Dalton Hintz. He diagnosed that play. 52 was the one that destroyed it because the play never got going, because he blitzed the gap, or shot the gap, if you want to say it that way, and just disrupted the whole timing of the play.
3rd down and 20 with just over 6 minutes to go. Touchdown lead for Stevenson, 10-3. A big 3rd down for Mundelein. Crawley takes the snap. He's under pressure, throws a screen to Constable, who slips a tackler. On the far sideline, he's got enough for the 1st down. What a play by Frank Constable.
Well, the funny part about that was they ran that screen, and Constable's man, his blocker, ran into him. That was not the opposition. If this blocker gets that clean, he goes to the house, period, if he doesn't run into him.
What a play call on 3rd and 20.
Middle screen.
So it's a 1st down for the Patriots. Well, wait a minute. This was close to the marker. They're going to bring the chains out to measure if he got the 1st down. They ruled him out at the 48, and they do want to measure if he got the 1st down.
Well, what you know as a player, when you're out there, you have this much stoppage of play, it disrupts the timing of the offense. Like, once you get going as a runner or a quarterback and you get a feel for the game, you don't want them stopping the play, because that kind of gives the defense rest. And at this point in the game, you want to keep the defense on their heels, and you also want to press their conditioning to see if they can handle it because you start making mistakes when you get tired.
These players might not be as tired as normal with all these stoppages, as you said, Don. I mean, it's just different flow of football game.
Yes.
And it is enough for a first down.
Oh, he threw a penalty on the Stevenson coach for coming out on the field. He signaled first down to Stevenson coach, and the referee penalized him for coming onto the field. So now that's gonna nullify what they just did. He gave him an unsportsmanlike, maybe.
You know, by the letter of the law, it is a penalty, but I don't know, Don, in that instance.
I wouldn't make that call there, but of course, I'm sitting up here in the booth.
Yeah, and we do appreciate certainly the hard work of the officials, but this is a game where there's just been constant penalty flags flying. The first down still counts. So it should be 1st and 25 for Stevenson. First down and 25 for the Patriots. From their own 32-yard line. Well, now they've got to adjust where the marker is. Crawley takes the snap, hands off. Good cut back there, and a nice run coming from Christopher Thorndike.
Thorndike has the nicest feet. I mean, my eyes always go to Constable because he runs with such gusto, but I got to tell you, Thorndike has some sweet feet.
So it's second down and short. Again, Don, I have to agree with the Mundelein fans. That should have been 1st and 25. I'm not sure what is going on with the marker. But as of right now, it's second down and 4 with just about 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and Stevenson with a 10-3 lead.
Burris with man coverage over here, man. I'm throwing the fade.
Thorndike on the carry. And he's close to the marker. And it looks like this will be a first down for Stevenson.
Now this is ball control with a lead. I can understand this. You're leading 10-3, and you're eating clock with this drive.
Pick up 3 more first downs. That might be enough to salt this game away. A 10-3 lead for Stevenson, and the Mundelein run defense needs to come up with a stop. Crawley gives, and a lot of room there near midfield as Thorndike is, actually Constable is just past midfield.
Not a big guy, but man, does he finish those runs. He's got low center of gravity, and he pushes the pack the opposite way when he runs the ball. There's a lot of conviction in number 29.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that tonight. He's not the type to try to run out of bounds. He just wants to impose more contact at the end of those runs.
He seems like he's got that attitude. Bill Mitch would be happy with this style of football.
Crawley, it's Constable, and he keeps the pile going close to the first down. Looks like he may have it.
And you know, I say that jokingly, but Coach Mitch used to run the full house backfield, and he was all about exerting his power on the line of scrimmage, and that, you know, that was a big part of their early tradition. But they started to get quarterbacks here that could throw the football, and that kind of changed the landscape of the approach to Stevenson football.
Well, the Patriots will certainly take their time here. 1st and 10 for the 45, 3 minutes to go. A 10-3 lead for the Patriots. Burris with man coverage, but Give to Costable. Able to take it close to the 40, about 3 on the play.
Second down for Stevenson. Mundelein 40.
Ball at the 41-yard line, and the Patriots continue to take their time. Under 2.5 minutes to go.
They've gone into the clock-killing mode. We're going to run the ball, and we're going to run clock. So you will have to strip the ball away from us or create a fumble to get back into this game.
Crawley gives for Thorndike, and a shoestring tackle close to a first down. And it looks like he does have another first down with under 2 minutes to go. And that clock can continue to roll. Timeout taken by Mundelein with 1:50 left. 10-3 Patriots, and Don, a really exciting first half. In the second half, Stevenson, that offensive line, the 2 running backs of Costable and Thorndike have just been imposing their will.
Yeah, it's a luxury when you have 2 running backs that not only run physically but have the ability to break the long run, and they cover the football. That's the running back's coach dream. The guy that protects the ball, but also he can hit the home run.
Yeah, we saw both of them have touchdowns taken off the board tonight.
But those runs were exciting to watch.
They were, absolutely.
Particularly, I was impressed by Thorndike's cutback run. That was beautiful.
He is really shifty back there in the backfield.
Yes, he is.
1st and 10, Mundelein in desperate need of a stop. They're not going to get it, as that will be another first down. Probably going to do it for the game. Christopher Thorndike picking up that one.
He must have heard us up here.
So now that clock continuing to roll. Mundelein without the timeouts to stop it. So now for Stevenson, you may have to run one more regular play, but then can go to taking a knee. Actually, it looks like Crawley is going into victory formation with 1:20 left here. It'll just have to be a couple of snaps for the Patriots, as they'll hang on for a 10-3 win, assuming nothing crazy happens, Don. I don't know if you've seen on the kneel down any fumbles or anything like that.
Well, yeah, this has been a game of a lot of errors. If you're an offensive coach, you can't like this. The many turnovers that you saw on both sides of the field, and missed opportunities, I would say, because when you're playing close games, you have to, when you have an opportunity on their side of the field to get some points, you got to do it.
So Crawley takes another knee. Clock continues to wind down. Stevenson will improve to 3-2. They get their first win in NSC play. Mundelein will fall to 4-1 and 2-1 in the NSC. A huge win for Stevenson off of those 2 losses.
Oh yeah, they responded. I think Stevenson has a lot to build on, a lot of terrific young players. I'm glad Ethan Aga-Khan got up off the carpet, came back in the second half. They needed him, and they needed his leadership. So it's nice to see resiliency out of the Patriots.
He came away with a sack in that second half. This clock continues to wind. It looks like Stevenson does not need to snap the ball one more time. 3-2-1. The Stevenson Patriots win it 10-3 over Mundelein. And Don, a little bit of a sloppy game, but ultimately it's an Armand Burris touchdown that wins it for the Patriots.
Yes, Armand Burris gave us some thrills, and I thought that he potentially could have given us more.
He was very impressive tonight, and that duo of running backs, and also Aiden Crawley, although a couple of turnovers, still was able to complete that touchdown pass, had the long ball downfield to Burris, and a big win for Stevenson, their head coach, Brent Becker.
Yeah, it is, and it keeps them in the hunt when we talk about teams like Warren, Lake Zurich, at the top of the pack. Even Mundelein's still there at 4-1. They have nothing to hold their heads at. They know that they can play at that level of football, but you have to cut out the mistakes and the penalties.
Well, Don, I think that wraps it up here. We're going to have more down on the field coming up. Again, Stevenson wins it 10-3 over Mundelein here on the CAC Network Game of the Week. Stay tuned. We're going to have post-game interview with the player of the game, as well as our final wrap-up from Stevenson, where the Patriots win it 10-3 over Mundelein.
Every goal, every touchdown, a promise, and that promise deserves safeguarding. Introducing draft protection and loss of value insurance. Dream without limits. We've got the coverage. Opalentia. Plan your legacy. Call us now at 708-505-9719.
Don Johnson down on the field with our CAC player of the game, Armand Burris, wide receiver for the Stevenson Patriots. And Armand, you have to tell me, what was the play called on the touchdown to you in the corner?
As we got into that huddle, QB called 24 power X out. So I was like, okay, I got a lot of space on my side. So I lined up tight, knew that corner was going to line up right on top of me, and I knew I was going to get out quick. Crawley put a nice ball, touchdown, and it felt great.
Tonight you had a lot of openings, a lot of deep ball possibilities, but penalties seemed to cancel some of those things. What did Coach say to you guys at halftime about that?
We just needed to be disciplined. Like, we were in our own heads. It's a battle of mind, a lot of our players were getting out of control, and we just needed to stay locked in and know what the end result was. So, he just told us to lock in, stay, and finish the goal.
Well, I know you had an 80-yard run that was called back on a jet sweep, and it was beautiful to watch, but it also showed us how potent and what a versatile athlete you are, and you're new to the game of football,
yes,
only 2 years in.
Yep. Yeah, on that call, jet sweep, I was like, oh, yes, this is going to be great. And then I see all this open field. I'm like, yes. But, even though it was called back, I was still happy with my teammates. We got back at it and won the game.
And your dad is Henry Burris, who played with the Bears and also played his college football at Temple. So tell me, what kind of things has he been telling you about what this game of football can offer you?
Man, a lot. Just knowing where to be, how to get off the line of scrimmage. Just letting me know where to throw the ball, letting me know where the QB is, or where the QB can throw me the ball. Just knowing where to be. He really is my cheat code.
Well, what I could see tonight, you have a lot of upside. You were open behind the defensive backs a lot tonight. A lot of penalties called here tonight, but you guys came out on top 10-3. And, even though you're a fine standout football player, I know you started your career playing hockey. That's something that I can relate to, because I played junior hockey. You play hockey in Canada.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Been there all my life, 15 years. I know I had to play hockey. Me knowing I'm the first one to play.
Yes.
I just had to bring it out, And then as soon as I moved here, I'm like, it's too long of a season. Let me try something else. So, my dad convinced me of playing football, and now here I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, continue on. Great victory tonight in the North Suburban. You guys move on to 3-2.
Yes, sir.
And this was critical because this sets you up for the second half of the season and an opportunity to make a run for the playoffs.
Yes,
so congratulations to our CAC Network player of the game, Armand Burris.